Hey y'all, it's Christy from Teadoddles. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to alter a t-shirt that may be a little bit snugger around the midsection so that it fits better if it's something you really, really love, like this t-shirt I have here that I've never worn because it just hugs the belly a little too much for my liking. First I'd like to say welcome new subscribers, welcome back subscribers. I'm happy to have you here with me and my maker shenanigans. I do like to do the sewing things, the DIY things, and the yarny things. You will see a little bit of all of that here on this channel, so if you like to make things, you might like it here. Alright, so this shirt has been hanging around, languishing in my closet for, I don't know how long, years. It's been a long time. I ordered it off of, is it Next Level Apparel? I don't know if that's the website I ordered off of. It says it was an extra large in ladies, and it must be junior sizing or something because the arms are even a little snug on me, but they are, because it's a really stretchy material, they're not like totally uncomfortable. And it fits me all right up in this area, but once you get past my waist, it does not. It's very snug, and I don't like very snug t-shirts. I don't like the way it looks on me. I don't like it, you know. Plus, they have a tendency to ride up, you know, like a little, I call it a window shade effect. Try not to shake this camera. I'm not doing a very good job. They tend to ride up on me when I'm moving around, and that's just, no one wants to see that. I mean, some people might, but I don't want to see it. I don't want to see myself like I like my shirts rolling up like a window shade. So, if you happen to have a shirt that, I like this one because it's got the octopus on it and he's wearing a little beanie, and since I crochet and knit, I like that. If you saw me talk about this shirt in previous videos, I kept saying I was going to cut out the back and add this fabric, but then it occurred to me, this fabric is wide enough. This is just a little 14-inch strip of fabric I think I got it in some scraps from a scrap bag or something from Girl Charlie, which you can do. You can get little half-yard cuts or little scrap bags sometimes, and it's fun to do this, and this one happens to go with it. I like the juxtaposition of this sailor octopus and the flowers. So what I'm gonna do is actually, I have this shirt folded. It's longer and it flares out at the side, but it doesn't flare out enough for me. I'm going to use this whole strip of fabric because this is with the fabric. So this is 64 inches approximately wide and 14 inches deep. I'm going to cut this shirt off with enough seam allowance so I don't cut off my little tentacle down here. Straight across like that. I'm going to put this right sides together, seam up this side. Then I'm going to put some gathering stitches in the top of this, excuse me, and fit it to this and hem up my bottom, and then I should be able to wear this shirt, and I think it'll look really cool, but we shall see how it turns out. I may put this seam, I don't think it'll matter. I thought about putting the seam in the back, because I don't have a seam on each side to add up under here, but I'll see how it looks and decide that. Like that. You can decide, or I could cut this side and put a seam on it if I really wanted a seam on each side. I'm not going to do that because that's extra work, but that is the plan. I'm going to get to cutting this so you can see how we do that. Let me get things situated and I'll be right back with you. Okay, I have this about as even and as flat as I can get it. Knits can be a little weird once you sew because this flares out and it's not straight. But this is as flat as it's going to get. Luckily, if it's a shirt you've worn a lot, you may have a lot more movement in it. I've learned this from working with t-shirt quilts. So I just got to get out my ruler over here because I forgot to do that. Because I'm going to cut things. Why would I need a ruler? Got my handy rotary cutter. And I'm going to, I have not. I'm going to try to even this out as much as I can along the hemline, which y'all cannot see. Let me pull this up a little bit. So I'll even it. I will straighten that out as best I can, and I will move it along a line on my table. Let me move this up so y'all can see this. There we go. That looks better. You don't have to see. You can see the octopus still. Okay. So I'll make that as even as I can. That just is going to help it lay a little better and make sure as much as possible that this is hanging correctly, that I'm using the grain of the fabric. I can see on this shirt already that this grain kind of goes this way. I can tell by the heathering on it. So it's not cut straight anyway. It's cut at a slight angle to the grain, which is annoying. And that's why the hem is doing this funky little thing, and things are a little twisty. And so if you you need to cut on the grain when you can, t-shirt manufacturers. All right, I'm going to cut this about right here, so that will give me enough to do about a half inch seam and still have a little bit of room between my little tentacle and where my other fabric starts. I'm just going to take this and I'm going to cut it. This may seem scary at first when you do this, especially if it's a t-shirt you really love, but if you're not wearing it, I say go ahead and cut it. Try to make it something you will wear. All right, here we go. Just cut it straight across, just like that. Even though we're not straight on the grain, I really need to replace my cutting blade. Let me go through it. Oh, okay, there we go. Now I have a little midriff. I'm gonna save this for something else. I'm trying to use all of my scraps. I have a ton of them. I need to put more in the shop to sell, but now I have a little halter. If that's your thing, there you go. You can have a halter and not have to worry about the belly. But if you're worried about the belly, you're probably not wearing a halter. Most likely. Some people don't care. You know, and that's good. I love them for that. I don't like my belly hanging out. But, alright. So now the only thing to do is to stitch up these two sides. I am going to use my serger for this because I have a serger. If you do not have a serger, you can use a zigzag stitch, works really well. You can use a longer, you can use a longer regular stitch. That works too. You will see double edge stitching on knit garments, even though they have the serged edge, which you can see here. Which they didn't do. They didn't finish this edge at all. It's okay on knits because knits don't tend to ravel, but they used a serger to make this with a double edge, which I can do on my serger machine. I just have not yet learned how to do that. So maybe I'll learn how to do that on this hem. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm gonna serge this. You can do double stitching on it. You don't have to. Just know that you want to have a longer stitch with a knit because you want it to stretch. It's going to stretch the opposite way for this, though. We're not stretching in the direction of the stitching, so it should be just fine. It's going to go this way. All right. But anything that stretches in the direction of the stitching, such as your collar, your arm, your hem, a double stitch is better, or a zigzag stitch. And my machine actually has a several stitch zigzag, if that makes sense, stitch that works well too. I will be using the serger, so this shouldn't take too long. I'll serge it, put my gathering stitches. I'll show you how I gather and match, and then I'll serge that, and then I'll just have the hem. So it should be a pretty quick project. So I'll see y'all back once I have my gathering stitches in, and I'll show you how I pull it up to make it even. Okay? Okay, I have everything ready for gathering my fabric. I have serged my center seam together, and I am going to put that in the center back, I decided, because I think it'll hang better. This does add a little bit of weight because of the surgeon thread and stuff. Not that much, but it could make it hang wonky. Since I don't have a seam on both sides. I've put my gathering stitches in. 2 rows is always better. I don't care how sheer or lightweight the fabric is. 2 rows is better. Trust me. And I did that by just setting I set my machine to a 4.5 stitch length to pull up. Mine goes up to a 7, I think, but that can be too much for a knit especially. And I went ahead and serged this bottom edge, which I'm going to be turning under to make the hem. It just will make it a little easier. I did also, after I did my center seam, have to even out this fabric. It was not the same width from one end to the other, so I had to cut it to even that out, and I had to lay everything out to that. The knits are awful with that. There goes my dog. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna, for something like this, I have tied the front 2 together on each side and the back 2 together on each side. The bottom thread is usually the easiest one to pull when you're doing this. I'm going to pull from both sides on this to the center. And that just makes it a little bit easier to do instead of having to go all the way around with this. And I have about 4 inches on each side I've got to pull in. So it's going to be fairly a lot. I'm going to push and pull as I go. And then we'll speed this up. Okay, I have this zhuzhed up about how I want it. Something I will say is that I usually pull up as much as I can to pull in one side and then the other side, and then I will adjust my gathers to try to make them more even as you go around. It's a process. Looks like some of my gathering came out on that side, but I will fix that right up. It just, when you're dealing with a bunch of gatherings around a big area, it just takes a minute to get it straight. Okay? So, and don't worry about them being super evenly spaced or anything. It's going to flow pretty nicely because this is a very drapey fabric in this particular instance. With a very stiff fabric, when you do gathers around the whole edge like that, it's going to make a bigger difference in how even they are, because it wants to get stiff and get lines more further down the item than it does if you have a knit. The knit kind of pulls it out, so it doesn't look as, it's not as noticeable. That's what I'm trying to say. Get your words out, Christy. All right, I'm gonna go stitch this to this, and then I'll iron up my hem and we'll take a look and see how it looks. Okay, I have my fabric sewn to the shirt, and yes, I've cut it on, and I love it already. I think that if you had a little girl, it would make the cutest little dress. I know I'm not a little girl, but I think it's the cutest shirt now that I can wear and be comfortable in. A couple of things. My surgeon, I've got to remove some of my gathering stitches because my serger doesn't go over as far as what I would normally stitch, and I didn't think about that. And the other thing I noticed when I tried it on is that somehow I have got a little pucker right here. So I've got to undo this, and I may just go further over with the serger once I undo it, and it'll eat up those stitches so I don't have to pull them out. I don't know how I managed to do that, but I did. So I've got to fix that, and then I just got to hem it up, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like hemmed up. I'll put it on my little dress form over here, and you can see what it looks like. And then on Thursday I'll do a little short so you can see me wearing it as an outfit. Okay, this was a super fun and easy way to make this shirt wearable for me, and it was quick. It went quicker than I thought it would, so I'm excited about that. So let me go ahead and finish this up right quick, and then I'll give you a peek on the dress mannequin. Okay, it's finished, and I love it. Just check it out. How it hangs on my little dress form. I can't pull it up any higher. The thing is broken. It's kind of wore out. I probably need a new one. But I wanted to try not to move too quick. Make y'all see sick so you can see the hem. I did focus. Ooh, it doesn't want to focus. I don't know that you can see that, but I did. This is what I was talking about. It has several stitches in a zigzag stitch. I did for the hem. I serged the edge to make it easier to fold over because knits like this tend to roll, and they want to roll in the opposite direction. So by serging the edge, it makes it easier for me to fold over. And I did that same zigzag stitch one time, and then I flipped it again and did it again. I did not even attempt to try to iron this. I think it would hold an iron hem okay, but when you heat up knits like this, they want to roll. And that's what I found in stitching. So I just did it that way. Oh, maybe you can see it better over here. Oh yeah, that makes sense. I figured you'd be able to see it better on the white, but I feel like it's not zooming in good on that. But there it is, and you can see this up close. Now, if you wanted to, you could go along here, that little serged seam that I have in there, and tack it down with a stitch or something. I just left it like it is. When I wear it, when I put it on, it kind of straightens itself out. So there is my finished, and I fixed the little lump in the back. I did wind up going over the serge again, even though I've got some stray strings that I need to pull out, but that's okay. I will get those momentarily. So I didn't have to pull out that gathering stitch. So there it is. And like I said, I will be doing a little short video tomorrow so you can see how it looks on and what I would wear it with. And that is the end of this. I hope y'all found this helpful. This is another way to make a t-shirt that's too small that you really like bigger. I have another video that shows putting a gusset in the sides of a t-shirt. I think I'm going to redoing that video and make it a little more user-friendly because I didn't, the point at the top, I had a lot of people comment about not being able to see how I turned to the point at the top. So I'm going to try to get a video of actually turning the point on the top, all right? But that is the conclusion of today's tutorial video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you'd like to see something in particular, let me know below. If any comments, I love to see them. Any questions you have, I love to answer if I can. And y'all remember to have a life lived creatively, and I will see y'all in the next video.